How cool is that? Elton John, Don't Go Breaking My Heart. In studio, because the festive spirit is in the air, with two home chefs who've really carved a name for themselves, and now they've come together to create further food delights. I'm talking about Perzin Patel, Bawi Bride Kitchen, and Subhasree Basu, aka Bonnie Basu, from Hungry Cat Kitchen, and their wonderful enterprise called Little Miss Greedy. And they're going to be with us through the course of the hour.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
Hello, Perzin. How are you?
Hi, Hrishikesh. I'm really good.
Apologies are in order. You wrote to me back in 2015, and I looked at that lovely piece that you wrote and said, I have to feature this girl. She's so interesting. And then I conveniently forgot about it. You could put it down to old age. But it's wonderful to be here. And Bawi Bride Kitchen has really traveled a long way. Talk about how it started and how you were able to build it brick by brick.
So Bawi Bride started back in 2013, and it was called Bawi Bride because I got married in 2012 and I was a Bawi, a Parsi and a bride. And it mainly started as a bit of a joke because I didn't actually know how to cook any Parsi food, and I married a very pakka bawa who likes his dhansak and kebabs, and I used to make these sort of secret calls to my mom who lives in New Zealand, asking her, how do I make this, how do I make that, and then obviously I'd lose the pieces of paper. So I've always loved food and loved writing, so I thought, why not start a blog, just a place for me to refer back to the recipes that I'm getting from my mom and, interesting recipes I come across. So that's how the blog started. And about 6 months into it, I got so many comments on the blog saying, oh, how do I make this? Will you sell this to me? And I felt like a complete fake because I was like, well, here I am actually writing the blog because I don't know how to cook it. So how can I sell it to you? But my husband was like, what's the harm? Just try it. So I was like, okay. So it started as basically a weekend kitchen from my house where I'd learn something Monday, Tuesday, sort of perfect it, put it out on social media, get some orders, and then Saturday, Sunday I would actually be selling it. So I did that for about 6 months. And then I had a full menu, and that's when sort of early 2014 is when Bawi Bride Kitchen sort of had a complete catering menu that we could do. And I used to do small parties of maybe 5 to about 20 people just from my home. And and at that time I was still working. And in 2015 it grew to a point where I said, no, I either had to choose between my job and between Bawi Bride. So I chose Bawi Bride, quit my job, and then since then I've had 2 children, and it's been slowly growing. So we've moved from my home kitchen. I met Subhasree. We started a commercial kitchen. So it's been a big evolution since 2014.
So the stand-up comedians always tell me that marriage made comedians out of them. 2 children made more of a writer out of you, because you're the passion with which you write your columns post the second one is just absolutely fabulous.
Yes.
With a name, a title like Hungry Cat Kitchen, you couldn't be second guessing that you're a lover of cats.
Yes.
So tell me the Hungry Cat Kitchen story. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a media professional. Back in 2003, I found my way from Calcutta to Bombay, and I worked a good lot of 15 years in the business, worked in the advertising sales business. And I quit in 2014 just on a whim because I was kind of bored, wanted to take a break, and to figure out if I could sort of change my courses into doing something that would be interesting and fulfilling for me personally. So that's where Hungry Cat Kitchen came in. I started as a home chef. There was a huge vacant space in Bombay where good pork dishes kind of missing, and I thought that could be my calling. So I started cooking more and more pork, lots of experimental stuff that is not there in the market. And 2 things that came during my research about pork was people were a little iffy about the quality of pork when they ordered. And the other thing was that most of the pork options in Bombay were very sweet. So I sort of figured out an international menu and started home dining from my home kitchen in Vadala, and it was called the Swining Table, and it was a 4-course, completely pork, ham, bacon menu. I got good traction, made good friends. This continued for a year. And then I thought that I'll take it to the next step, but I didn't know why and how, because I didn't have any formal training in the kitchen, in a commercial kitchen. So bit by bit, I sort of started looking out for people I could collaborate with. I met Perzin, very luckily. We started with Little Flea and Kala Ghora as flea pop-up models. It really worked. We loved working with each other. So then right now, as she mentioned, we have a commercial kitchen in Mahim. And yes, so we are very, very happy, and we are concentrating on the catering business, spreading a lot of good food and happiness around.
Sting If You Love Somebody, Set Them Free, back in a couple of minutes. Sting If You Love Somebody, Set Them Free from the Dream of the Blue Turtles album. We are streaming audio online all over the nation. Anywhere in India, www.onecast.in, numeral 1cast.in. So if you have friends, you have family, you have foodies around the country, you want to tell them about this interview, please tell them to log on. We're 94.3 on the FM band and your radio sets right here in Mumbai City, only if you're not driving. Statutory warning, you're in the backseat of a radio taxi, a chauffeur-driven car, at home, at work. You want to stream some video live? It's facebook.com/radio1.mum, radio1.mum. We've tagged the Bawi Bride Kitchen. We've tagged the Hungry Cat Kitchen. We've also tagged Little Miss Greedy. So, Perzin Patel and Subhasree Basu are here. More conversation.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
Well, home chefs normally start off in their home. I mean, that's what makes you home chefs. So did you, then when you scaled up, did you have your own kitchens? Perzin, where was yours?
So, yes, you're right. I did start from home, and then back in 2015, I decided that my kitchen was getting a little bit crowded and I needed a little more space. So I rented out this really cute sort of bungalow in Malcolm Bagh in Jogeshwari, which is, I would say, one of the best looking Parsi bags.
Is that where my friend Sam Balsara lives?
Yes, that's
well,
correct.
Sam and his wonderful wife had us over for lunch one day, and I took this leisurely walk around. If I knew you were there, I'd come and knock on your door. It's beautiful. Yeah,
yes, it's absolutely. You don't feel like you're in Mumbai at all.
Totally, and it must keep the creative juices flowing too. Yeah.
So back then, home dining. I was also doing home dining like Subhasree was. So it was important for me to have a kitchen, but also have a space where I could entertain people. Hence the thought process behind getting a bungalow rather than like a commercial kitchen. And so back then I was doing sort of like Parsi dabbas, like daily meals, and then I was also doing catering. This is pre-Scootsie, Swiggy days. They were not really around. So I did that for a while, and about a year into that, I actually found out I was pregnant. So I had to take a call in terms of what I could do, and my lease was sort of coming up for renewal anyways. So I decided to move back home, and but then I did sort of turn my home setup into a little more professional. So I still had about 3 people working with me from home, and we got live onto Scootsie, Swiggy. So I was doing that while pregnant. In fact, I was actually taking orders while I was in labor, and the doctor had to snatch the phone away from me.
More power to you, Perzin. More power to you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did that, and I was still operating out of home till about I would say early 2017, which is when the conversation started with Subhasree, and by then the home dining scene had really, in Mumbai had evolved. So it was happening less, and I really wanted to focus more on the catering. So we decided that, rather than a home setup, I really needed something which was more like a commercial kitchen where we could just focus on the cooking.
And you must have started off out of home. Yes. With ample cats in the vicinity.
Yes, I had one cat. He's quite a celebrity within my friend circle. His name is Meowjeet. And he was an extremely well-behaved cat, because whenever we used to have like 10 to 15 to 20 people dining at home, he would behave himself. I believe that till date I've made some good friends because of him, because they would come home just out of sheer curiosity, not just the food but also the cat. But as I mentioned earlier, I had absolutely no idea about how to go about it. I didn't know how to organize the back end, the operational part of it, and that's where Perzin came in. I'd like to take this opportunity to also mention that, foodies in Bombay have a lot to thank home chefs for, because this entire home chef movement, the revolution that has happened over the last 5 years or so, has brought into focus a lot of regional cuisine. A lot of our good friends are regional cooks. So you have Mangalorean, you have Sindhi, you have Bori, and what have you. I mean, so foodies have more choices because of home chefs. So we will never forget our roots, so to speak. But we're very happy that we have a commercial kitchen today, from where we are on Scootsie, Swiggy, Zomato, and people can just order within the vicinity. And pat comes your food, in 30 minutes it gets delivered. So that's a great thing.
Now, we are going to get into the menu because we have to go into some messages now, but why Little Miss Greedy? It's quite exciting, that the name.
So, actually, I keep mentioning this to her when we send invoices to other companies, because most companies have a very simple name like ABC Foods or whatever. And I was like, and I think it took us about 3 months to actually find a name, because we really wanted something that represented us. So I think Subhasree is going to say she's the little and I'm the greedy. But we wanted something. So actually, if you see our logo, it's quite a fat little bird.
It's colorful.
Actually, I haven't noticed the logo. I should go back now.
Yes, you must. It's a colorful little bird, slightly on the obese side, and it's Little Miss Greedy. We believe that the characteristic is largely very talkative, like us. So that's Little Miss Greedy for you.
Super. Some messages in back. Don't go anywhere. I just love that film as well as that soundtrack. 4 Weddings and a Funeral. Wet, love is all around. Perzin Patel, founder of Bawi Bride Kitchen, and Subhasree Basu, aka Bonnie Basu, who's founder of Hungry Cat Kitchen, have come together, and this is their common kitchen, a commercial kitchen in Mahim. They call it Little Miss Greedy, and they're doing very, very well. But what I'm going to do now is concentrate on the Bawi Bride Kitchen menu as well as the Hungry Cat Kitchen menu. More conversation.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
So, tell me what the regular menu is. Are you doing anything special for the festive season? All of that. Perzin.
So the regular menu obviously has a lot of the Parsi classics. So you will have a dhan saak, you will have a sali chicken, you will have the patrani machi. But my mission really from the start has been to show people that there is more to Parsi food than dhan saak.
Sure.
So even though I've served over the past 5 years maybe about 6,000 to 7,000 liters of dhan saak, I keep a track by the cookers we do. And but besides that, if you come and ask me what kind of Parsi food you want to try, so we do a lot of innovation. So for example, over the years we've come out with a patrani machi pie, which was basically taking Subhashree's specialty in pies and my specialty in Parsi food, and making something unique. I also have a prawn and keema pulao, which is like prawns cooked in chutney, a spicy keema and layered together. One of my favorites is actually my grandmom's prawn curry, because I have so many memories of growing up with her making me that curry. In fact, as grandmoms do, she had once asked me, when I die, what do you want? Which jewelry set do you want? And things like that. And I was like, no, I don't want any of that. I think I was like 6 or 7. And I was like, you just make me like this really big, never-ending tapeli of like prawn curry, and I'll just keep eating that and I'll be super happy. So, so that's why her curry is very special to me, and I always push it on all my menus. In fact, I'm doing a collaboration with Bombay Vintage right now, which is in Kolaba. And we're doing a Lagannu Bhonu special. But it's actually really rare wedding treats. So no patrani machi, no pulao dar. We're actually doing things that you would find at a Parsi wedding lunch.
Wow.
Which is prawn curry, kid gosh, anjeerma chicken, and I've actually developed a special ice cream in collaboration with Taj Ice Creams, and we're actually doing a Lagannu custard ice cream. So, I really like to take old classics and not really, I would say, mess with the flavors, but change the format, make it a little more modern, a little more appealing, so that it's more appealing and more accessible to people beyond who just know the normal stuff.
And lesser known fact, which I want to bring to the fore, is that you're also a pie expert. from what because she said that a lot of those pie recipes have come from you. Yeah. So
Yes,
talk me through that.
So basically, the idea came. So I specialize in pork pot pies. I mean, pot pies in general. The difference between a regular pie, as we know it, and a pot pie is basically you have plenty of filling at the bottom and you have a puff pastry on top. So currently, we have over a dozen pot pies on the menu, including the likes of a Sully boti pie. Again, a marriage between me and Perzin, really, so to speak. The pork pot pie is a bestseller. We have a kiwi lamb and cheese pie. We also have a butter chicken pie, which is again a bestseller of ours. So we have developed a very nice and light recipe for a butter chicken, but it's really yummy at the same time. So pies have become kind of a signature item for us, apart from the pork on the menu. In the pork section, there are pork chops, there are curries, etc. The best seller in that section would be a kaffir lime pork curry, and I'm really happy that there are so many people in Bombay who are addicted to that curry. I have people calling me and ordering it for it even up to like 4 times a week.
That's wonderful. And in that sense, some of your traditional bong cooking is also seeped in. I was reading somewhere that there's a kosher mangsho pie.
Yes, there's a Bengali kosher mangsho pie. So as a Bengali, I didn't really fancy making Bengali food under the Hungry Cat Kitchen label.
Fair enough, yeah.
There are so many other people who are doing a damn good job of it. But at the same time, I mean, given my identity of being a Bengali, I thought that the kosher mangsho pot pie would really make sense. And guess what? It has a lot of potatoes in it.
And if I can jump in, actually, we recently did a Pujo special menu, and we created something which is called the ultimate Bengali moussaka. So it was, because Bengalis love their begun bhaja.
Isn't moussaka a Greek thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Wow.
So we wanted to so again, she can't do Bengali food. So we basically, what Bengalis love, begun bhaja.
Of course they do,
So
yeah.
we took, and moussaka is made with eggplant. So we basically layered eggplants, and there was
Prawn curry.
and there was a prawn curry, which was a Bengali style prawn curry layered with eggplants and
White sauce
white
and
sauce and
cheese.
cheese. And
So think of it like a Bengali in Greece.
Michael Bublé, it's a beautiful day. Back in a couple of minutes. Michael Bublé, it's a beautiful day. Still streaming audio online all over the nation. www.onecast.in, numeral 1cast.in. 94.3 on the FM band on your radio sets right here in Mumbai City. Only if you're not driving, you could stream video. And we're happy to have your reactions. 99677 43943. Any questions? 99677 43943. Some of my friends have already started reacting on my personal WhatsApp line saying, where are these pies? Yummy. This and that. So they're on Scootsie, they're on Swiggy. So go ahead. And now we're going to talk, for those of you tuned in late, Perzin Patel from Bawi Bride Kitchen and Subhasree Basu, aka Bonnie Basu, here from the Hungry Cat Kitchen. We're talking about their collaboration, which is Little Miss Greedy, and their individual menus.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
Okay, the catering menu. First and foremost, the catering menu is not available on Scootsie or Swiggy. So where
That's
can they
right.
get in touch for the catering menu? So go very slow on the number because this is not television, no graphics.
Okay. So whoever wants to order for the Little Miss Greedy catering menu can get in touch with me, Subhasree, on 98209 28658 and
me, Perzin, on 98192 85720, or you can always reach us on our individual Facebook pages, and we are pretty responsive. We get back to you really quickly, and we'll send you our catering menu. We have regular specials that we do, some interesting thing that we're doing every month. So even if you don't want to order now, just send us a message so we can add you to our database, and then you can stay updated with what we're doing.
Please call them only after 10 o'clock. Don't disturb my radio show. Just the numbers again, please. Yours.
98209 28658.
Yeah, Perzin.
And 98192 85720.
Right. What's on the catering menu?
Okay, the philosophy between our catering, between the both of us when we designed the catering menu as such, was that let's bring back a lot of old classics to the table. So in that spirit, we have a lot of comfort food that we pride ourselves on. So the regular feedback that we get, the most common of the lot, is that, hey, your food tastes like a very glam version of food that I would have at somebody's house who really knows how to cook well. So we concentrate a lot more on the flavors, not so much on the looks of the food. We have classic dishes on the menu like a chicken mushroom pie. We have the Waldorf salad. We have plenty of options in the roast chicken section. We have pork. We have a lot of international classics, Parsi mains, desserts, basically everything encompassing all kinds of cuisine.
We also like to give, like Subhasree mentioned, a really home touch to, even popular food. So while we don't have biryani on the menu, because it's a rule, Subhasree said, no biryani, we actually...
Why, pray? Would you like to come in?
Everybody does biryani. Everybody does like dal tadka.
Yeah.
Right?
Totally, yes.
So, but we do make a butter chicken, and you really need to taste our butter chicken because it's very different. It's very home style again, and that's what we pride ourselves on. We actually smoke it ourselves in the kitchen, and we've had feedback from people saying, "Oh my God, this is the best butter chicken we've ever had," in the city, and that's really great because none of us are either North Indians or like North Indian cooks, but like Subhasree mentioned, most important thing for us is to add that little bit of love in our food, and we make sure that our entire team does that. So it's not just us sort of doing that. Yeah.
Super stuff. We're going to head into a last leg of conversation with these wonderful ladies. So it's messages and back. Please stay with us. Marshmallow Bastille, the hot current hit called Happier. I'm happy as long as I'm talking food. Perzin Patel, Bawi Bride Kitchen, and Subhasree Basu from Hungry Cat Kitchen are here. Lots of delights that we've been talking about. A last leg of conversation.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with Hrishikesh.
So it cannot be emphasized enough the difference between Irani food and Parsi food. And as part of the specials, you want to take over? What do you have?
Sure. So this we started about a couple of years ago when the kitchen had just started, and everyone celebrates Parsi New Year, but the Iranis, Zoroastrians also actually have their New Year, which comes a month before, and that's when the idea came about to actually highlight Iranian food, which was a collab. I mean, a little bit of this kind of stuff you'd find in Iran and what the Irani Zoroastrians have brought with them. So we had things like a Tabrizi kufte, which is actually like a Scotch egg of kinds, but there is mince on the outside, and then there was like egg and dry fruits inside, found from the city of Tabriz. And then we had osh on the thing on the menu, and that's basically something the Iranis even in Mumbai make. It's a huge stew which is made with spaghetti, 5 kinds of lentils, 6 to 7 vegetables, and like all slow cooked together. And we had such a great response because there were so many Iranis and even non-Parsis who were so excited to try something different than the normal pulao dar sali chicken. So we're also doing, that's why we like to do one special kind of a month, and obviously this month the Freddie Mercury movie is coming out, and the Parsis have obviously readopted him back, so it's Apro Freddie now, and so we're actually doing a Freddie Mercury special. And so on the menu we've got a thing, basically item which is called a crazy little thing called Edu, or we've got Sweet Lady, which is basically chicken thighs. And we've got another kebab bites the dust, where we're actually doing like a different kind of kebab. So that's basically the idea, to keep old flavors but in a new format. And I'll let Subhasree add in a little bit.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by the pork prashansa weekend.
Don't you love the name? Everybody comes back and tells us about it. Yeah. So pork prashansa weekend is something that we do on a quarterly basis. So every 3 months we have a weekend special, under the throes of which we try to cover a lot of international food adapted with our favorite meat. So we've done things like a Polish pierogi, which is kind of a pot sticker. We've done an Indonesian piche. A piche is basically pork mince covered in a cabbage and then cooked into a curry. We've done a raised pork pie, which has been a runaway hit, which is an English pork pie, which can be had cold. On the dessert section, we've had very interesting runaway hits again. Sticky bacon buns, bacon donuts, and things like that. And a pork and pineapple Thai curry, which I don't know, we are just people just love our green Thai curry from time to time. So it's really nice. I mean, the pork prashans weekend. If you're really interested in pork, maybe you can just WhatsApp me on 98209-28658. We'll put you on the subscriber database and you'll get updates about it.
Yeah, also they're very active. So you can just go Hungry Cat Kitchen or Bawi Bride Kitchen on social media, which is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and you'll find them. You know, you just go to the search bar and type that. So the parenting blog, I mean, you write very, very well. I have to say, I've only read a couple of pieces, but tell people where they can go on to read it and what it's all about.
Sure. So, I mean, the parenting blog came about because once I got into the business of food, I couldn't write as much about food as I wanted to, and writing is a passion. So, it's called P for Parenting, and it's actually on Medium. So, you can go to medium.com/P for Parenting. And it's basically a space where I write about my experiences as a mom. I did a series earlier this year, which was a series of letters to my son from the letter A to Z, which was a really nice challenge. In fact, I did it for Parsi food as well. So if you love reading about Parsi recipes, then you can go to bawibride.com, and it's actually got a to Z of Parsi food, which was a crowdsourced series of recipes we did with people from A to Z.
Lovely. And people often come to meet the cats.
Oh, yes.
Not so much the food sometimes.
So I have two at home, Meowjeet and Yoda Swami. Yoda has rather large ears. And in the office, we have two visiting cats. We take care of them as well. One is called Helen and the other one is called Sitaram, which is a very interesting name. So we have a lot of cat lovers who like to drop in for a cup of chai and meet the cats.
Lovely.
In fact, our staff actually goes down to the fish market and specially brings fish for the cats.
Oh, the pampered lot. Lovely. Listen, this has been special. Thank you very much. I'm very happy Diwali in advance to the two of you.
Happy
Thank you
Diwali
for rolling
to you.
by. Yeah?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Messages and back.